All right, I'm struggling a bit to describe how this works, so I'll just describe what I'm going to do. So I've got a bunch of tools tied together that all use Claude Code and some different MCP servers. What I'm going to do is over here, we're going to like build the mockup for an iPhone app, and then we're going to actually build it in the simulator, pretty much all with voice and all in a few minutes. All right. So what we're going to do is build the mockups for a mindfulness app that helps us practice breathing in a few iPhone screens targeting the iPhone 16 Pro Max simulator. Okay. Prompt looks good. All right. So now this app, which is called Pencil.dev, and it has a little app that runs locally. It is an MCP server actually, and you're seeing it because it's running a server on localhost, but it's an MCP that Claude Code is accessing. And I haven't done this before where I use like another app to like send commands into Claude Code and then come back. But that's what it's doing. And then it's just building all this UI. I just had a dark theme, but you can like pass in themes and such. It is drawing this all in using, and it's rendering it in WebGL. It's drawing it in like some sort of proprietary doc format. I shouldn't say proprietary because it's an open standard, but some like a YAML kind of a thing. I haven't looked into that structure of these .pen files all that much, but it is certainly open. But yeah, I've done this many times where I've just asked Claude Code to build me apps, and it is pretty darn good. But this is wild that you can actually see it draw each block in real time and rendered with WebGL. So let's see. Part of me is tempted. Ooh, take screenshot. That's a cool animation. So it takes a screenshot on the MCP server. Claude Code can then see from that screenshot and make adjustments. So part of me wants to like pause this and just see the end, but actually watching the thinking and watching the incremental steps is, I think, almost more impressive than just seeing the output. So we'll watch a little bit. Let's make some space for now since we don't need this other stuff. Ah. Okay, well, notice that it's certainly not a dark theme. Maybe my prompt didn't mention dark theme. Okay, I mean, it did it. So, but let's try to come back in. System use warm background, for accent terracotta, green and terracotta. Sure, okay. Let us say this is a great start. Can you add in another screen for settings where the user would be able to choose between a dark mode and a light mode? Also, make a variation of the breathing session screen in dark mode. Oh, this is a good example of little things that I've noticed before, and then I'll have to view it in the app and then send another follow-up prompt to replace, often using like the Playwright MCP server is nice to be able to navigate around the app and take the screenshots. Okay, but yeah, by having that little checkbox circle under the selected light, it totally screws up the spacing, and it's completely unneeded because we got the border around there. So, okay. This is cool. So I'm taking longer than I needed to just do a straight ahead mock-up and then get it into an iPhone app, which I've already done. But I wanted to do a little bit of feedback and make some changes to this pen file since I have very little experience with this pen file. So fascinating watching it all draw in real time. Okay, it's basically done. That looks cool. I like the dark theme of everything. All right, let's see if we can target this little tiny fix. This is looking great. One small tweak on the settings screen. If you look in the appearance section, the light mode is toggled on. We already have an indicator that light mode is toggled on with that green stroke. You also added in, which I think we should remove, the green check circle underneath the light text. This is causing the icon to overflow the stroke. So I think if we just remove the green checked circle emoji and leave it alone with the stroke indicating the selected theme, that would be better. Gosh, maybe I'm using too many words there. Let's see. Word vomit. Much better. Okay, I think that is it. So this file is saved. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's get over and we're in the folder where this pen file was saved. And then we'll go into Claude. New folder. Okay. You're in a folder with a design mockup. Can you use the Pencil MCP and just tell me how many screens are in this mockup? Yeah, just doing that as like a sanity check that things are connected. And we then should see like, we should see some like little blue scanning over here. Oh, okay, didn't have to, just look through the file itself. There's a design mockup file called pen, but okay, great. 5 screens. Now let's build this in a iPhone app. Awesome. So can you now please use the MCP server and build this as an iPhone app? I could have just said build it as an iPhone app, and it wouldn't even need to know that it was from the MCP server. It would have just seen. All right, cool. Using Pencil's MCP to get what's there. Screenshots generated and sent into Claude Code to look for visual. Okay. Now I'll just allow Xcode Build MCP that's already set up. Mm-mm. All right, I'm just going to get asked to approve a bunch of commands for creating files. Since I'm in a new folder, if I was doing this a bunch, I could just do a whatever local Claude JSON file and allow these various commands. If I was trying to like one-shot an app, like build the thing perfectly in one shot, but I'd rather just watch it. All right, so we're trying to build it for the sim. All right, simulator name iPhone 16. It's probably going to fail because I don't have that specific simulator, but assuming it will, retry with an available simulator. Yeah, there it is. No, don't have the 16. Use an available simulator Pro Max. Okay, great. Which time are we in? Right, 16 minutes. All right, well, I think we're close. We're gonna think we'll get under 20 minutes. And showing the full thing and made some changes to the mockups. see. Interesting. Well, that's fun. That's like that didn't happen the last time I did this. But this would be good rules to set up about specific iOS versions, specific simulator versions. That's easily to overcome. I'm just creating this with zero guardrails. Build run sim. Okay. That looks pretty pretty darn good. Let's see. Okay, so it's trying to take some screenshots so that Claude can know how good it did. Running, box breathing. Oh, interesting. Okay. The MCP should allow it to drive simulator. Yep. Okay, there we go. Heck yeah. All right, it's actually even driving the simulator and doing it for me. Like a playwright kind of. Cool. Neat. Back to the home screen. Tap the done, show the settings. Oh, very cool. Okay. Tap on element settings. Let's see how many times it tries. All right, I'm looking over at bottom right, context left till compact. I want to try to get it done before it has to compact. Okay, sweet. Done. Done and done. Done. 16th streak. Done. Settings. Dark mode. All right, well, there's no dark mode yet, so that would be the next thing. Implement dark mode, but hey, whatever. Let's see if I can do this myself. Home. Quick sessions. Morning calm. Box breathing. Cool. I feel great. All right, neat. So home screen breathing, setting sessions, features, 3 breathing exercises. All right, and it did the color scheme, didn't do the dark mode. That's fine. That's actually not surprising. That is incredible. And so we did all of that in 20 minutes.